Thank you, Speaker. Thank you. The question is very simple.
Okay.
Since you say the statute did not include immigration, will immigration be part of the team or be at all of the precinct? A simple question. Thank you. Because even for national ID card registration, the immigration is incorporated into the government staff that must be there to legitimize the process. So if you are saying today that immigration has nothing to do with the statute, so therefore, election time, there will be no immigration there, voter registration time, there will be no immigration there, they're very clear. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you for your question, sir. National Elections Commission says that it recruits Liberians to serve as temporary staff of voter registration and during elections time. At no time have we ever included immigration, the immigration to be part of the registration process.
So thank you. Let me proceed. Honorable Menza.
Honorable Speaker, distinguished colleagues. Honorable Speaker, the last time the elect officials were here, we had a discussion about the parliamentary. And there are certain issues like where network is not available, where we have issues that the network is not working. We didn't get clarity on that. And they said it was going to go local and let us know. And I just wanted, and we're still hearing about the parliamentary. And in fact, it was said that people will register with the system, but they will not vote with it. So we wanted to please tell what new have been added and what is different, and so we can get clarity and understanding on the matters to educate also our own people. Thank you.
Yes, please.
The National Elections Commission restates that it will conduct parliamentary voter registration in Liberia in the next few months. The issue of internet, as we stated previously, has been taken care of, meaning that the equipment that will be used to capture citizens' data does not need internet to capture your data. When a plan is right for deduplication, the information is already stored in the machine that will capture the data, and it is sent to the central location, which will now send that information to the NEC servers. In that case, internet will be used. But to use internet to capture the data, the equipment that will be available to us, you don't need the internet to capture data. And voter registration is about capturing your data.
Honorable Samuel.
May I also add, in answering the last part of the question, during the elections, there will be no biometric voting. No biometric voting, as we said to you earlier. What will happen is what you have done before, meaning that the Elections Commission will paste the final voter registration roll on all of the buildings that will be used for voting. And you will look in the available documentation with us, that is the FRR, to reference whether in fact you are on our roll or you're not on the roll. What the difference there will be, instead of using the old card, you would have been registered with the new biometric card that you will show to identify yourself, that in fact you are a registered voter. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, please proceed with your question.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, co-presiding distinguished colleague. To the witness, I saw the memo that classify the registration into two phases. And the first phase has to do with 6 counties, and the second one will be 9 counties. But my thing here is now that because of climate change, normally in our country or in our country, the rain season starts very early. And those 9 counties that will be in from April to May, my fear and the worry at that time it is possible that will be a massive rainy season, and it becomes difficult for us 9 counties that quote-unquote that will be for the southeast and other areas that the roads can be very terrible to plow. It's still possible, I'm just saying it, that we can have a reverse, that the 6 counties who may be having the perfect road, even from today to even August, to go to April to May, then we will at the back, that when the rain comes, we also start earlier.
Thank you, Honorable. I regret to inform you, Honorable, that the plan is already in place for the 2 phases. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Reverend Duma.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, co-presiding, distinguished colleagues. Mr. Speaker, my concern has to do with the security of the recruitment process of the temporary workers that NEC is now recruiting for the registration process. I'm aware that the recruitment is being done online, similar process that Legis carried out, and there were a lot of irregularities in the process because we were told that even people who did not apply names appeared on our listing. My concern for the security is that there are people who are even going around asking young people who apply to get their names for them so that they can help them for their name to come through them. So I just want an assurance from the Commission on the security of the recruitment process. It will not be infiltrated by politicians.
Honorable, I cannot speak to that last part of infiltration by politicians.
Chairperson.
What? Yes, sir?
This was for.
Sir, should wait some more.
No, I said please.
I said please respond.
Oh, okay, sorry. I was responding. The National Elections Commission has custody of all of this data, which are secured by the National Elections Commission. Secondly, the online registration is rolled out in a way that we have spelled out that those registering online will be screened, but before then, you have to shortlist. Any recruitment process, you have to shortlist. This is known. After the shortlisting, people get screened to know whether in fact what they put online is actual when they are before the Commission. Therefore, after the screening, after the shortlisting, and after the screening, the Elections Commission will determine who has the requisite skills or capacity to serve as temporary staff. One capacity which is key because we'll be using computers must be computer literate. And you must demonstrate during the screening that in fact you have skills and capacity to conduct the voter registration. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Dennis.
Honorable Speaker, distinguished colleagues, Madam Chair, I want you to clear my doubt and to some extension to a lot of my police and the Liberian people. So it comes to this biometric ID card, where the registered voters receive their ID card the same day as opposed to the manual one that we have. And once you register, you receive your ID card. Because I was in a community dialogue with some of my constituents, and they brought up that it is Roman, that sometimes maybe the machine will go down, so maybe the machine will only print 500 cards, and then you'll have to come back after 1 or 2 days to get a card. So I said, okay, I will have that information from NBC, and I was very glad I've seen you here. So how will the biometric card be? Will they receive it the same day they register, left it with the manual card also? Thank you so much.
Honorable, the biometric cards will be issued on the spot. And let me say something, please. Every machine can have problems. But what is important is that you put in place the mechanism to overcome those challenges. And that's what we have in place. If there will be any challenge with operating the machine to produce your card, there's a backup system that will be used. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable Prince.
The Speaker does not know already. Honorable Speaker, colleagues, to the witness, I have a concern and also a question. For the past election years, there have been people who register 2-3 places and they became successful in their deeds. And this has caused problem in Liberia when it comes to this kind of a double ticking. Now that we have gone to the new age where you are introducing the system that we just talked about, what mechanism have you put in place so that this can be curtailed, that we won't have one person registering 4 to 5 places and at the end of the day be successful and other people victimized? What have you done about it? Or what are you doing about it? Thank you.
Honorable, multiple registrations will be taken care of during the registration process, because there is a deduplication process that is being put in place to ensure that those who think they can register more than once will be caught. And I'd like to say also to that, as the deduplication is going on, all the data that has been entered into the system gets to be matched. Let's say I'm the one who registering more than once. All of those who have been registered before, my photo, my fingerprints will be matched against everybody's. So if you do it twice, you get picked up. Even if you went and cut your hair or you wore different clothes, your fingerprints, if they have been entered already in the system, nobody else in the whole wide world, even if you were a twin, have those fingerprints. You will get picked up.
Thank you. Honorable Jones.
Thank you, Mr. Fisher. Colleagues, let me say thanks to our witnesses. Our witnesses, I want to ask, as any part, the voter registration process has been simultaneous, where all counties observe registration on a particular day and end on the same day. As in the biometric being introduced, or that will be introduced, there will be counties selected, and according to the schedule, some may last for at most 3 weeks. My concern is, will there be additional registration sites? If no, are you going to increase the number of registers so that as people go to register, they can have easy access? Because considering the population of Liberia now, 8 years ago, Liberia population was put at, if I'm not making a mistake, 4.5. And we have gone more than 10 years. So we expect the population to increase. So are there mechanisms that can satisfy all of those arguments so that our people can have their voter cards? Thank you.
Honorable, I'm hoping that I understood your question, so I will attempt to answer. I think initially you talked something about conducting the voter registration countrywide as opposed to splitting the country up into two. We say that the scheduling of the voter registration will assist the Commission to move its equipment from one location to the other. Then we also say that perhaps if the Legislature had approved the 91 million, we probably would have been in a position to procure as much equipment as possible to do the entire country. This did not happen. So we're making adjustments along the way. Secondly, you said something to the effect that whether there will be additional registration centers. I will first say that initially we had anticipated if we had had the $91 million approved, but currently we have been consulting with staff in the field doing assessment of our voter registration centers, which are 2080, that is 2080. And when that full report comes to us, the Commission will determine whether in fact, looking at time, whether in fact we will be able to increase centers or not. Thank you, sir. And you talk about easy access. If you're talking about easy access to the voting centers, we say many years we have tried to achieve this, but you will also know, Honorable, that those voting centers are private homes, government buildings, and what have you. Access to us has not really been a difficulty, but the difficulty with people living with disabilities, it has been a bit tough on them. So in our advocacy and our CDE, we have put in place a mechanism to assist people living with disabilities and to assist old people, women, women with babies on their backs, physically challenged people, so that they can register with ease. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Honorable Poon.
Honorable Speaker of the Police, my question to the Honorable Commissioner has to do with election reform law that was passed by both houses in 2022. Can you please give us the status of that law? The status of that law that both houses passed to the national reform law, the election reform law, and we passed 2022. The both houses passed a law 2022. So we're hoping that the only state of the public level are not saying anything again, bill, the president has approved it, so we will move.
Yeah.
Everybody should know the situation of the law.
Yes, order, honorable.
I'm a brother, I deal with your question.
Yeah.
Okay, what is forcefully in the purview on our side to seek that information from the Office of the President, the Foreign Ministry, printing a document to hand bill?
I think the issue here is that it's before a committee to address that. I think he raised an issue before as then to be corrected. So it's within the domain of our committee, so it will be appropriately dealt with.
There we are. Now the committee, now the chair. No, you answer no question there.
Have a seat. Have a seat. Any additional question? No question. You have to go to the honorable gentleman.
And my information speaker had to do with the civil law. Because since you submitted this issue to a committee, we are not getting the book, because it's 1 week time.
Thank you. Thank you for the information. The committee is responsible to report.
So wherever you're joining us from, good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Welcome to this live broadcast from the chambers of the lower house, the House of Representatives here of Capitol Hill, Monrovia, Liberia. My name is Frank Small, this is Focus on the Broad Television live here in the chambers of the House. We bring you this live session. The chairperson of the National Elections Commission, along with the other in authority, appear here to answer questions relating to the voter registration process, the biometric registration process, and many others. Follow me at the end. My name is Prince. Keep following.
Mr. Speaker, distinguished colleagues, I have a few questions that are more or less concerned. I remember the last appearance of the Honorable Chairperson of the Committee of the Commission. He informed us that and promised us that upon the arrival of the equipment, the BRB equipment, they will do a test case here for us to experience what is going to happen in the field. I would like to know if the commissioner or the commission is ready to do that for us. That's one. Two, Madam Commissioner, there are 2 things we have observed during election. It is my view that they could be part of the regulations, if not law. One of them is we have observed that people go to vote and they use camera phones. While in the polling center, when they vote, they have to take photos to vote and justify, convince their candidate that they have voted. Perhaps there could be a sinister motive behind that. The third one, Madam Chairperson, is we have observed of late that there is no definite distance prescribed by the NDC. And what do I mean by that? When the 2 writers, we have observers, The observers are different from party poll workers, candidate poll workers. The poll workers, the distance between the poll workers and the poll workers of the NDC, I think the regulations should spell it out. Because there are elections we have gone through, because the last one, I witnessed. The poll workers will be at a distance beyond where you are with me, Madam Chairperson, and the NDC poll workers will be here. So I don't know how well they can watch, but they are not there to observe or to watch. In the process, there are a lot of things that happen that our people are not able to take note of as candidate and party representative. Last but not the least, Madam Chairperson, is I do not know how it is done, but I would like to suggest, Madam Chairperson, that at every polling center, a poll watcher representing a political party or independent candidate should have a copy of the final voter registry for that polling center, so that they are able to determine who has voted and who has not voted. So these are the concerns. And thank you, Mr. Speaker. I hope that by when the council is set.
Thank you, sir. Let me start by saying the biometric photo equipment have already been tested in Mali County. And we take on our advisement and see what may be possible considering the limitation of time.
Considering a process.
Secondly, those entering the registration centers or the voting centers with cameras, we have always appealed to them to focus on their registration and to focus on their voting. If there is a regulation, I will have to go over it before I am definite in what I want to say. Secondly, the issue of poll workers and the distance between them and the NDC, and your request for regulations to address them, we take it under advisement. The issue of providing a copy of the FRR to poll watchers, the Commission has had a tradition of putting the FRR on discs or pen drives and giving it to political parties. We take this under advisement, possibly that will be done. But the issue of giving poll watchers the FRR, I cannot promise. The FRR will be on the wall for them to review. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Foko.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. My colleague from Rosa County brought something to our attention. I think the NDC boss has not addressed that. I think it's also very important that we try to get our view on that. So, Honorable Representative and other colleagues, probably who may have been thinking in the same way that NDC has shown her calendar of events, most especially with the decentralization process in keeping with different time. I think looking at the time and what NDC has informed us about the financial issue, most especially with the budget that was submitted to us, I think any attempt now for NDC to go back to re-change that calendar, we will now be headed to trouble constitutionally that election day will not be here at that time. So I think that is a wrong proceeding. We have to adhere to the calendar that have been given to us, and we have been having election time during releasing time people from here can go to their counties. And this one time during the season, I was aware that you left from here, you went to Riverside, some people went to San Luis, some people went to Maryland. So we have to adhere to that. We have to adhere to that and make sure that we stay with NEC in that process. But any attempt to change that, it will be a serious constitutional crisis. Thank you.
Honorable Speaker, co-presiding, distinguished colleague. Honorable Speaker, my order to the colleague is I will ask that the colleague discuss the issue than to discuss personality. This is my order to my colleague.
Honorable Respectfully Trustee. Thank you. Yes, so is there any other input? Otherwise, we will respectfully discharge our witnesses. Inquiry? Yeah. Okay, to who? Okay, go ahead with the inquiry.
Mr. Speaker, co-presiding distinguished colleagues, there were issues tabled by the Honorable Chairperson to get back to the Board of Selection. Does she care to indicate as to how early we would hear from the board because we are running out of time?
Okay, she said, I mean, according to the honorable gentleman, he said that the time that you say you will consider coming back, specifically, when can we expect those feedback?
Our Speaker, the Commission will review the request, and we say that based on the limitation of time, the technicians will have to revise. When they revise, then I'll be able to come back to see. So probably maybe in the next 3 days or 4 days.
Thank you. So that said, I believe we have exhausted the discussion for today. We will entertain a motion for the honorable to honorably discharge our witnesses. That said, we ask the Right Honorable Someone to cover the motion.
Mr. Speaker, co-presiding distinguished colleagues, having listened and interacted with the chairperson and members of the National Elections Commission in a positive way, I move, if I can obtain a second, that the commissioner and her entourage be honorably discharged so that they can return, and when needy, any other time, they can return to us based on our request. If I can obtain a second.
Distinguished honorable colleagues, we've already stated a motion here to vote. All those in favor make it known by saying yes. Thank you very much. Madam Chairperson, we must thank you for the stamina. Though you say you were not well, but I think you were able to overcome that. One thing I would like to bring to your attention, as much as you have said that you will return to this body to do a demonstration, it is incumbent upon you to do just that, because when you make statements here, we hold you to those statements. You are so respectfully discharged. Thank you.
Alright, so folks, that's it. The chairperson of the National Elections Commission has been discharged by the presiding of the House of Representatives. She appeared today before the plenary of the House. She and others, commissioners of the National Elections Commission, to answer the hard questions as it relates to the photo registration, the biometric registration, all the kinds of things. But she's going on now, so thanks for following us. Thanks for watching. This is Focus on Liberia. My name is Prince. Bringing this live broadcast here from the chambers of the House of Representatives. This is focused on the regular vision. Thanks for following us. Thanks for watching. Appearance is coming on. Appearance of petroleum importers taking a break to join you shortly when the other invitees appear in the chambers. Thanks for following. Thanks for following us. Get a short break to be back. Yeah.